Today's video is all about why empaths sometimes get lost in relationships and how to restore that balance. Because like everything, it's not really a bad thing. It comes from a good place. So my name is Inga. This is the Healing Revolution. And let's dive right into it. So, when I was about 17 or 18, I had my first romantic relationship. And I get so lost in it. Everything was around this relationship. I had actually moved in with him. Um, Not a great idea at the same time. I was going to university for the first time. And it was the time where I had to go see a psychologist for the first time. That psychologist turned out to teach me tapping, set me on a whole journey. It was actually quite amazing. But I got so lost in relationships that I remember at that time really kind of swearing that I would never get that lost again. And somewhere in my subconscious that probably set me on this journey of really learning how to be myself, how to let not my empathness and my people pleasingness sort of ruin things for me. So I think it really comes from a good place. As empaths, we are very much focused on the other as a general rule. Now we sort of read their emotions, we figure out what they need, how we can nurture them, supply for them. It's such a beautiful thing that we do. It really is. However, when it comes out of balance, when all of our attention or most of our attention is placed outside of us with other people, other people's emotions, other people's beliefs, other people's needs and wants, our own can get neglected simply because the person that we are, the person that needs to be paying attention to these things, isn't paying attention to these things. Super simple. So this can obviously happen in romantic relationships. This can happen with friends. This can happen with our families. And this can happen with our children. And in a way, I think this is absolutely beautiful when children are really, really, really young. It's kind of required that we almost, that we pay a lot of attention to these young ones. So how do we restore this balance? So it's a simple attention thing. So pulling away the attention from others and placing it back into ourselves. So there's one practice that I think is extremely helpful for this. I use this in my practice all the time. I teach it in the energy healing toolkit. It's what's called calling your power back. So extremely simply, what you're doing is you're imagining that your attention, your energy is kind of these golden threads going to all these different places, and you're like calling them back to you. So you're imagining that all of these threads are coming back to you. And at first this can be super uncomfortable. It can be really, really, really uncomfortable because we're not used to it. And as empaths, we become this way usually because there's some element of survival. Something was really needed us to be that way for some time. So doing the opposite can feel so uncomfortable, but I promise you, you're gonna be okay. And in the long run, you're actually gonna be a little bit better. So that's one practice you can do. I will also be teaching this practice in Love Manifestation Month because it's so important. So calling your power back is one thing you can do. And the other thing is actually a mindfulness practice that is very common and easy to YouTube. I have one on my YouTube channel as well. Body scan. What this does is it's training your nervous system to pay attention to your own system, to your own sensations, to your own body. And when you start practicing this day in, day out, day in, day out, you're really creating and strengthening the map of your own person. So when you kind of get into these empathy tendencies, it's easier to come back to yourself. And so being anchored in your own body allows you to know your own wants, your own needs, and also become an advocate for them. That's then maybe the next step. I'll also be talking about that a little bit in Love Manifestation Month. I'm so excited about that. So those are two practices you can really use as an empath to stop placing all your attention outside of yourself and bring it back. Now, if you happen to be a little bit on the other side where you've really brought all your attention inward and the empathy is kind of gone, you might need to let that go a little bit and place your attention outward. So this is really just a balancing act. There's no better and no worse. So if you are enjoying this kind of empath conversation, I also invite you into the self-love for empaths 5-day course. So every day you get a little bit of a video like this and some really, really amazing tools to help you love yourself as an empath. Now, if you want more love in your life, generally, I have put almost everything I know as far as the energetics of relationships go into this 30-day course, where each day you're going to be receiving an email either with something for you to understand, something for you to practice, or something for you to kind of gain awareness around for yourself, so to journal.